and it would have given an opportunity to people to learn about the views of the Muslim community and why they felt that it was proper for someone to go to the Sharia court in those circumstances. Similarly, it would have given an opportunity to Ikim and Jakim to hear from the non-Muslim community why they were hesitant to go to the Sharia court. And I think if it had been allowed to proceed, would have been a very, very fruitful morning.
The Islamic point of view was to be represented by Dr. Haji Naim Mokhtar, a prosecutor of the Sharia court, and Dr. Wan Azhar bin Wan Ahmad of the Institute of Islamic Understanding. But they were advised to pull out of the forum by their respective employers, and requests to interview both gentlemen were turned down. But why were they spooked into pulling out?
Well, actually, I think the whole problem of what transpired on August 9, even if you can call it a problem, sometimes adjectives are not good to be used. August 9 event, there is to my opinion, there is a further background to this. You see, when about 2 months before that, when I was communicated through Ms. Fu of the Malaysian Bar Council, that they are having a panel, they are having this forum, they wish to invite me to be a panelist. I said, fine, it's worth discussing on the legal aspect of it. But I also suggested to her that I said that we are all lawyers, we may get bored with the law. And the issue here is sometimes people want to know is the Islamic side of it. Why is an Islamic principle A, why it is in Islam it's B, and so on. To that, only an Islamic scholar can explain. So Bar Council then extended their invitation to 2 or 3 Islamic scholars, one of them which I actually recommended the name as well, and their departments agreed. So the real issue which happened on August 9 is with regards to an event which happened before that. I understand that Bar Council made a press conference to highlight the forum which was to be conducted, and whether they intended it or otherwise, the press, when they covered the press conference the following day, made it to appear that the discussion, the focal point of the forum is towards repeal of 1211A. That's the impression the press gave to the public. What happened in the interim is a question which should be posed to Bar Council. But I think they will have to take a fair share of the blame. It is not sufficient to say that we did not intend it that way. We should also know how the press could react on certain issues. Now, when that transpired on that particular Saturday prior to the forum, then you can't blame the public or the necessary authorities to get the wrong idea as to what the forum was all about. And then the directions were given, I believe so, by the departments for the speakers to come out. And I can't blame them, because you don't go about discussing in public an issue which is crucial to the Muslim community and the community as a whole, which is with regards to the preservation of Islamic law through the Sharia courts. You don't go about discussing repeal of it, my friend, in one and only few countries which still preserve the rights of the Muslims.
But was that the intention?
Whether that was the intention or not, Wallahu alam, as the saying goes, we wouldn't know. But it was given that impression. Now, impression sometimes is, has a more drastic effect. So, when that impression was given to the public, of course, various NGOs would take up a stand and says, no, we will not allow this to be discussed. This is the start of a confusion. This is the start of a confusion. So, I wouldn't say the forum itself was an issue. 1 week before the forum was handled, 1 week before the forum was conducted, the impression given, rightly or wrongly, sincerely or unintentionally, was that it was towards repeal of 1211A. And if that was the case, of course, it was the right of the demonstrators to demonstrate legally what they believe was their right. So, To me, at the end of the day, it was all a question of confusion and misunderstanding. A part played by the press and perhaps contributed to by Bar Council.
I knew about this forum, I think 2 or 3 months before it was held. And my initial view is that it's all right for Bar Council to proceed with the discussion, knowing that the representative from Muslim parties they are very good in Islamic law, in fact in like Hanif Qasri in law, in Islam, the Hukum Syara, and I think it's a fair representative. So I don't have any problem with that initially. But the problem is that the moment the press conference by Bar Council about this forum was held, I was called. I received a phone call from one of the panel. The panel says that Zainul, the media has given very bad, negative exposure on the forum. Should I go or shouldn't I go? I told him I did not watch the TV3 news. I cannot comment anything. I have to wait for tomorrow for the papers to what sort of media reporting issued the next day.